Hey, friends, April here, and happy Thursday. Welcome to Tip Thursday, really. I definitely need to come up with a name, and I keep saying that, but welcome to Thursday. If you're new here, welcome. My name is April Woodcock. I own Touching Clients, a digital marketing agency out here in Voluntown, Connecticut, which I like to say is in the middle of nowhere, close to everywhere. If that's true, we don't actually have delivery of takeout here, so we are in the middle of nowhere, but we're 30 minutes to Providence, about an hour to Hartford, and a few hours to New York, and about an hour and a half to Boston. So, see, middle of nowhere, close to everywhere. Um, Drop a hello in the chat. Would love to see who's here today. And today we're going to be talking about humanizing your brand. I'm going to give you 3 steps to help build that trust and enhance what you're already doing for your community. And my goal is always to keep these 30 minutes or under. So with that in mind, I am going to get started here. So give me 1 second. All right. So again, we're talking about how to humanize your brand in 3 simple steps. So let's get going here. Again, about me, my name is April Woodcock. I'm in Voluntown, on Touching Clients, and we are a digital marketing agency. I'm also an authorized local expert with Constant Contact, and I love to talk about everything digital marketing and how it supports your business. So why is trust the real currency? Well, at the end of the day, we buy from who we know, like, and trust, who we're comfortable with. I actually have the opportunity to teach as an adjunct, principles of marketing class. And one of the questions as we began our first semester was, what are brands you see every day? And it's interesting for what the students put into the chat and the discussion. And really the takeaway was, well, some of it because of the age demographic, and obviously I have adult learners as well. Well, my parents use Tide. My parents go to Starbucks. My family uses this product. And so that trust is carried over, right? However, when we're getting to know a new product or service, our goal as business owners is really to build that trust and kind of that transparency of who we are and how we can serve them. So it also helps shorten the sales cycle. So everything that we're building online and everything that we're doing, our goal is to have touch points in that customer journey of how we can build trust and stay in touch on a regular basis and offer, share our expertise so we are getting to know them. And the world has changed a lot. We don't have to actually necessarily meet people in person, but we do need to meet people where they're comfortable, right? So it definitely is something that as we build our business and we look at our systems, we really do need to think about how every step of our cycle we are building trust. And here's the thing, I do a lot with marketing automation. I do a lot with systems. I think automation is a great, effective tool for you to manage your time and the things that we do personally. But it really does, we have to look at our sales cycle and see how we can add that human touch. And it might be just creating videos. And I say just lightly because that takes your time, right? But you need to find something in your content delivery of how you're communicating with your audience and how you're bringing it to them. Here's the thing. It's very noisy in the content marketing world. It's overwhelming. And I've talked about this a lot. The ability to have AI is a fantastic tool, right? It helps us with productivity. I'm not sure it's great for the environment, but if you use it sparingly and you use it to your advantage for ideas, it can definitely help you. But people are overwhelmed by that type of content because it's made it too easy for people to copy and paste content, write blogs, do all these things where you and I, our faces, our connection, our personality is really what's going to make it stand out and build that connection of that trust. So here's the problem with polished brands. So, Coca-Cola, I mean, gosh, they've been around forever, right? And it kind of goes back to that, what I was talking about with the discussion question with my students is that, if you're a Coke household, chances are you're probably brought up on drinking Diet Coke or Coke products before you have Pepsi products. But it can be too corporate, right? So you as a small business owner, you have personality and something to bring to your brand. It can be very scripted. It also can be a little generic. And, perfect doesn't always make trustworthy. So they do have the ability to have larger budgets and stay in front of people, larger teams that can help support that. And there's nothing wrong with corporate branding, right? Because we all buy corporate brands. So, if you do Nike, or if you, again, Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, they're very large brands. However, it is opportunities for us smaller business owners, smaller smarty pants, to really personalize our level of service that we deliver. So, human brands speak like real people. They are not AI videos. They are you and I, like here today. I'm talking to you. This is me. And I have everyday hiccups from working from home. I have technology issues. I have dog issues. I have dogs where they bark a lot. But we're real people. That is definitely the difference. We can definitely share stories of what we're telling. We're not just putting stories out there on paper. We can tell stories of things that have happened to us. I've done hundreds of webinars in my experience, and there's times where, I still get nervous, like, oh, do I have this working? Do I have this working? But it's human, right? So, like, if something happens, people can relate to that. And the other thing too is that you just want to remember, as you're humanizing your brand and the things that you're doing, you just want to be consistent of what you're doing. I think it's always great to try different things, to incorporate things to make your day-to-day hat that you're wearing, the many hats you're wearing, easier, but make sure that you as a human show up consistently, whether that be in, again, video, your emails, and how you're presenting your voice, whether or not you're having one-on-one conversations with people, but definitely, or real human pictures behind the scenes. Like, if you saw my office floor right now, you'd be horrified, because I got a new desk and I have some stuff that I don't know what to do with. So, but that would be relatable, right? Like, we're so busy doing these things that was done at 10 o'clock at night. So show up consistently. And so I'm going to give you kind of a 3-step framework that you might already be doing, but my goal is that you're going to have one takeaway today. So be visible, be relatable, and be consistent. So be visible. Visibility means presence. It doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean perfect backgrounds. It doesn't mean perfect audio. You definitely want to show the face behind the brand. So an example that I'm going to give you, touching clients, we've been in business for, 19 years. And my husband is my partner in my business. His name is Kevin. And a lot of people don't know about Kevin because he's behind the scenes, and he actually does some other work, different paths. So he works part-time within touching clients now. So, but anyways, he doesn't come on camera very often. Back in the day, he did a little bit more, but you wouldn't know Kevin if I didn't tell you about Kevin. You would know April. I have my daughter helps. We have other people on our team. Pressy helps us, but they're kind of behind the scenes. So you want to make sure that what you're doing in kind of your business is deciding who is the face of your brand. And that could be multiple people. And you want your voice and your vision to be the same. You definitely want to use your name, your business name, as well as, think about using your logo, but your logo shouldn't take that place, right? You should always look to have a professional headshot on your LinkedIn. If you're using photos, make sure that you're in them. If you are the one facing your brand. And, this happens in every business. So, like, even though my business is called Touching Clients, I have thought a lot about, because of things that have changed where Kevin's kind of just part-time now, of really kind of putting my name as the brand, because that's who I talk, like, you see me all the time. And I feel like that might be more recognizable. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. Be visible and be human. You definitely want to be yourself, right? And people want to hear your voice. I think it's always interesting. And I know this has happened to all of us at some point or another, where, you see somebody in pictures, but you don't hear their voice. And then when you hear their voice, you're like, oh, your voice is not what I expected it to be. So let people hear your voice, not only verbally, but written, in all the things that you do. So visibility in real life, a welcome email from a real person. So even though you might be using an automated email, you can definitely make it personalized with the way that you write and your voice and how you talk to people. So just look at the language that you're using. You can talk about on social media, here's why we made this decision. Humanize it. This was my experience. A behind the scenes photo or a story of what you're doing. So like on Monday next week, I'm traveling and I'm going to be doing work remotely from a place. So that would be a great behind the scenes. I have a friend that actually is going to be down for business and we're meeting to have dinner. So because just like you, everybody's like, those are behind the scenes. It humanizes. You're trying to make things work. So you work remote or you do this to adjust your schedule by still providing the service that the excellent service you do. So step 2, be relatable. Relatable, you don't have to overshare. So I say this, and I mean, like, you don't need to tell all of your personal story. You need to share what you're comfortable with as a business owner. You can, if you're struggling with doing something, it's fine to acknowledge that. Like, I will be honest, I struggle. This is just kind of random, but I am struggling with, and I'm going to show you here, this audio microphone. It has given me struggles since I bought it. I wish I never bought it. I'm outside of the return period. I have a sound mixer that I cannot get to work. I'm struggling with that. But then there's other things that I struggle with that I would acknowledge. Some days I'm just not on my best self. I have a lot on my mind. Acknowledging your struggles humanizes you. Again, you don't have to go dig deep and go into the scenes of every personal aspect of your life, but acknowledging when you're and acknowledging when something's great, answering common questions. So if you can mention common questions where you get asked a lot. This also is something where you then can relate. So especially as business owners, I think a lot of us are really working in our businesses. We might have small teams, but we're doing a lot of work and we're wearing a lot of hats. So you can acknowledge some of the other things and questions that come up to your audience. And then it's always great to share lessons, things that work, things that don't work. One of the things I love, I work with a client, his name is Steve Dotto, and he has a membership platform called The Gray Wave. And every time he does a launch, they open the doors every 6 months, but every time he does a launch, he shares the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I love that and people love that. It's a very well attended webinar. And basically he shares kind of the struggles of a business owner, like creating all the emails, doing the, setting up your payment systems, but kind of that behind the scenes. He talks about how much money he spent on ads. He really kind of is totally transparent. And I think all of us, as we kind of navigate through our businesses, we can share stories of that. I know that there's products that I've started. Actually, it's funny. I was looking through my YouTube channel and I have some things that are unlisted. And way back when, gosh, it's like, I don't know, 14 years ago, I had started the Small Business Marketing Academy. I did radio ads. I had all these things very reasonably priced. I had all the structure. And then I just lost confidence and I didn't continue with it. And, it's one of those lessons that I've learned, like looking back now, I think that I wasn't confident in my knowledge. I have so much more knowledge about it now, but that's something where if somebody was talking to me about a membership site, I could definitely relate to struggles because I struggle with imposter syndrome, just like other people do. You kind of put yourself out there and you wonder, should I say this? But those are things where you can share lessons learned. And again, this could be positive lessons too. I'm talking about kind of looking at that. So be relatable. People can relate to who they get to know, and it helps build that trust factor if they can relate to you. Because the other thing too is that not everybody's a good fit to work with you. Not everybody's a good fit to be in your community. So you want to be able to connect with people that resonate with you. What makes content feel human? So it sounds like a conversation, right? So are we having a conversation now? Maybe you're talking back to me. No, I'm just kidding. But it should feel like a conversation. It should feel easy. It should feel where it's not daunting or it's something that's forced. Definitely want to use everyday language in your content. You want to make sure that it's definitely 8th grade reading level, but at the same time, you want to make sure that depending upon your audience, so if you're servicing a worldwide audience, you need to make sure that you're using words that are not going to be translated incorrectly, or if you don't speak Spanish, but a word comes up, that it translates pretty well. So you want to make sure that you're using everyday language. Try to stay away from slang. I actually don't feel like I'm super old. I'm a Gen Xer girl, but like God, my 18-year-old, we picked him up from college. We went out to dinner. This was after he'd been at school a few weeks. And my husband and I sat down and we were having Thai food, and we're listening to him talk, and we're just shaking our head. And I'm like, God, I don't really understand what he's saying. I don't understand what he's saying. And we got in the car and we left. And I was like, what the heck does this mean? What does this word mean? This word mean? Here's the thing. You want to make sure that you're using clear, simple language so your audience understands it. No acronyms. If you use an acronym, so like SEO, explain it. It's search engine optimization. It's the go-go juice that makes your website get found online. So think about it from that perspective, language that your audience can understand. And definitely address concerns, like try to address concerns before they come up. So if you know in your experience and your expertise that when people get to list building and segmentation seems to be a really big struggle for a lot of people, I can address that and say, if you start here and you use this, if you use this clickable segmentation icon, it's going to do it for you. And then you can work from what's segmented. So consider that. Be consistent. Consistency is definitely, for step 3, is going to help you in the long run. The more consistent you are with delivering your content, the larger your reach is going to be over time. It is a marathon. It is not a sprint. The whole social media arena has changed so much. As well as just even content delivery, between having even in search engine optimization and the way that Google recognizes it. And now we have AI that we have to consider in the back ends of our website to get found. So, just be consistent. Be consistent. It's also going to help you build confidence. One of the things I think is hard for a lot of people is they get intimidated about going on video, confidence, like, oh gosh, or they're too scripted because they get afraid, right? So they'll be like, well, I'm on video and I'm looking at myself. It takes confidence, and it takes confidence over time. The first step is always the hardest, right? But you want to keep the same tone. I notice, it's so funny because I think of, and my daughter would kill me for saying this, and I probably do the same thing. And I just, I don't, but like she'll get on the phone and she has a phone voice, right? You have a phone voice when you're talking to, other people, as opposed to your real. Be yourself, friends. Be yourself. Have that same tone as well as in your writing, so it comes across. The same values that you have, stick to them. Your messaging should be the same everywhere. It's one of those things. My brother, if he was watching this, he'd be like, oh, hi friends, or I say woohoo, or but at least I'm consistent. But consistency is definitely key for you and everybody. It matters most when you, especially when it comes to the content on your website. You want to make sure that that's that people understand and can notice the voice and vision the same, your email and your social media presence. Now, this includes, from your imagery, the images that you use that represent your business and your brand, to your logo, and then the tone in your context and your text and how you're talking to your audience. That's a big thing, right? You want to make sure that your social presence looks the same, that if I got an email, I went to your website, and then I went to your social media, that they all look consistent and they look the same. So kind of putting it all together, be visible. People will start to recognize you. You want them to recognize you and your brand. Make a decision of where you are in your business. Is it you're branding it as your company name? You're going heavy on that. So make sure that if that's the case, make sure if you have a team around you that you're sharing those people are involved in your content delivery. Be relatable. Make sure that you are that you're sharing your stories, you're sharing your struggles. Again, you don't have to go way down in the personal file folders and share all of your business. You definitely don't need to do that, but you do need to be human. Like as business owners, we run into challenges or we have great experience. We help fix problems and solve problems in our services. Be relatable, share those stories, and be consistent because over time, people are going to choose you. Even if you start and you start doing webinars and you have one person, you have two people, you eventually it pays it forward over time. That's where that marathon, it's a marathon. It is not a sprint. So just keep that in mind. All right, my friends. So I leave you with kind of these asking the right questions. So where am I hiding behind my brand? So think about it that way. Where are you hiding? Have you done a video? This would be a great opportunity for you to do a video and talk about a tip or a something that you can share that's relative to the business, your business, and the things that you solve. Where could I make clearer or warmer in my tone? So maybe something is not clear. I just finished a workshop with in the membership, the Gray Wave, and we were talking about websites, but we were really dialing in on clarity, making sure your message is clear. Look at how you're presenting yourself. Look at how you're presenting your content. Is it clear? Is it concise? Or is it fluffy? And this also comes back to when I mentioned earlier about that kind of that noisy, it's noisy in the sense that we have all this AI content, right? So AI gives you a lot. And usually when it gives you something, it's a lot. So you need to make sure that you take that and you use it to your advantage to pull out the important pieces and make it your own. Where can I show up once consistently? So you don't have to be everywhere. Where is something that you're comfortable with that you can show up consistently with content? And really, it would be great. Video is going to get you the most reach on your social channels. That's been happening for quite a long time. That video is definitely higher in reach. Social media is harder and harder, I feel like, to reach more and more people. It's definitely a slower uphill. So I would encourage you to just pick a place where you can show up consistently and put your polished humanization on your brand. So think about it this way. Trust isn't built by saying more. It's built by showing up human. And I do mean that. And I feel like every week I'm always saying, you got to be human. I do, again, AI is a great tool, but we have to figure out kind of that where human connection comes in because people do business with who they know, like, and trust. If you are sharing your expertise and they know it's coming from you, you're the person that they're going to eventually, hit the button for buy now. You're the person that they're going to schedule the call with. It's not going to be your AI chatbot. It's going to be you. So make sure that you show up human in all the things that you do as well. All right, my friends, February is almost upon us, and I do have a masterclass coming up for Canva, so I'm just going to share that with you here. It's a masterclass about creating 30 days worth of content. There's actually, it is a paid class. It's a 90-minute class, and there's kind of two variations, very cost-effective. But if you are interested in being on the wait list, I encourage you to scan this code. And the information is going out next week about that Canva masterclass, and I hope to see you there. Next week on our our Tip Thursday live stream, we're going to be talking about Google Analytics. I'm going to be going through kind of the key elements of what you need to look for in your Google Analytics. And if you don't have them set up, you're going to want to have them set up. And again, 30 minutes. So how did I do today? I am at 224. See, this is getting easier and easier and easier. My goal for you every Thursday is to bring you a Thursday tip that you can kind of have an aha moment, have one takeaway, have something to think about, and then come back next Thursday, 30 minutes. And my goal is, again, actionable tips. So I appreciate all of your time today, and I wish you the well. If there's any questions, I'll look for them in the chat. And I hope that you join me next week. And I will, I'll look forward to seeing you then. So, hey, Chris, hey, Bobby, good to see you guys. Thanks for coming today. All right. Okay. Doesn't look like we have any questions, my friends. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will look forward to seeing you next Thursday. Thanks so much for your time. Take care and have a fantastic weekend. And if you are somewhere warm, I'm very jealous because we have a lot of snow here in Connecticut. All right, friends. See you later.